What's up, everyone? Back again for another end of the year music list. As always, the site for all of the lists: 50 songs, 40 albums, 30 features, 20 music videos, 10 biggest artists, all up on www.collegesetlist.com. This is going to be more of a quicker summary of the songs and the albums. So if you want to check out those other lists, please check out that site. Put your feedback down in the comments on any of the songs, albums that you listened to that didn't make this list. Again, this is just my opinion, so with that being said, I'll go ahead and get into the top 50 songs. Number 50, we got The Kid Laroi featuring Justin Bieber with Stay, one of the better pop rap songs of the year. And if you guys have known me, you know I've been following The Kid Laroi for a little while. It was one of my favorite artists coming up, and this is another strong entrance into his catalog. Number 49 with Little Simz, Introvert. This was a more explosive, cinematic type of track. Really enjoyed. Number 48, we have Pink Sifu featuring Maxo, Call the Bro. Number 47, Pooh Shiesty featuring Lil Durk, Back in Blood. Number 46, Bea Badoobie, He Gets Me So High. I think one of the singers on the 1975 was on this track, and he added a good vocal layer to it. Number 45, Who Wants Smoke, Nardo Wick featuring Durk, Herbo, and Savage. One of the more menacing tracks that dropped at the later end of this year. Also really like the original though that came out earlier, but I think the remix added that extra oomph it needed. Number 44, Young Thug, Gunna, and the rest of the YSL team, and Lil Baby on Paid the Fine. I think this is one of the better tracks off of the Slime Language 2 album. Number 43, we have Lil Nas X, Sun Goes Down. I know a lot of people like Industry Baby, Montero, but personally I think Sun Goes Down is a more personal, better cut. Number 42, John Mayer, Last Train Home, the ballad version that dropped after the album. I think this should have made the actual album. Number 41, Kanye West, A Moon. This song is just angelic, feels like the ascent into heaven. A lot of this is because of Don Toliver, and Kid Cudi is perfect too. Going into number 40, we have Isaiah Rashad, Headshots for the Locals. I saw this made Obama's top songs of the year, so shout out to Obama, I guess. 39, 42 Dugg and Roddy Ricch, For the Gang, one of the better hype anthems this year. 42 Dugg had a great year. Number 38, Polo G, So Real, off the Hall of Fame album. Sounded like a Martin and Gina Part 2, which personally I love that song too, so So Real was a nice follow-up. Number 37, West Side Gun, Hell on Earth Part 2, featuring the rest of the Griselda crew. I don't know if this was like you could argue there were better songs off the album, but I wanted to put this track in to celebrate how Griselda has continued to push the culture forward, and this song is definitely representative of that growth. Number 36, we have Rod Wave with Street Runner. Another great Rod track. I love the voicemail that occurs throughout the track, and Rod's not doing anything completely different, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Number 35, Playboi Carti, Feel Like Dying. I know that the Whole Lotta Red came out on Christmas of last year, but so it didn't have enough time to make it onto last year's list, so all the Playboi Carti stuff was on this list, and this is the ending track of Whole Lotta Red. I love the Bon Iver sample into the beat, and it's a very fitting end to a roller coaster of an album. Number 34, we have Mustafa featuring Sampha with Capo. Mustafa's breakout debut and doesn't disappoint. I recently heard about him earlier this year. Number 33, we got Coi Leray featuring Lil Durk, No More Parties remix. Number 32, we have Mach-Hommy, Au Revoir. Mach-Hommy had one of my favorite albums of this year, and I really love this track. He just sounds like he's on his, he's like the Godfather in this. 31, we have J. Cole with 21 Savage and More, My Life. This one sounds like A Lot Part 2. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. 21 does this thing, Moray adds that Fayetteville energy, and J. Cole does J. Cole. So really like that track. At number 30, Olivia Rodrigo with Deja Vu. Shout out to her, she had one of the biggest years, probably the biggest year in music. Number 29, Drake with Kid Cudi on I Miss You Too. Didn't really like this track that much at first, I think because it was like the first Kid Cudi Drake collaboration, but after multiple listens, this one continued to stick with me. Number 28, we have Justin Bieber with Daniel Caesar and Giveon with Peaches, and this was the main single that came out once Justice dropped, and was one of the catchiest choruses. At number 27, Baby Keem featuring Brent Faiyaz on Lost Souls. Brent just adds that nonchalant energy that he always does and matches what Baby Keem brings to the table on this track. At number 26, we have Vink Mensa featuring BJ Chicago Kid, The Taste. This song just sounds so Chicago, so much soul, and really makes you want to take a visit to the Chi. Number 25, Don Toliver, Swinging on Westheimer. Very few artists can pull off a track like this, make it sound trap infused, while also psychedelic, a bit R&B, and that's Don Toliver. Number 24, Dro Kenji, For Life. I'm not sure how many people have heard of Dro Kenji. He's kind of a Juice WRLD baby, but he has a lot of potential, I believe, and For Life, off this album he dropped this year, was my favorite track. I think everyone should check it out. Number 23, Armand Hammer and the Alchemist featuring Earl, Falling Out the Sky. This is my favorite track off the Armand Hammer project, Haram. Earl delivers a phenomenal verse, and the whole track just sounds like Los Angeles. And as someone who just graduated from USC, it's definitely an energy there that is unmatched. Number 22, Serpent with Feet, Same Size Shoe. Serpent with Feet takes a very minimal concept of having the same size shoe as your significant other and makes it sound really beautiful. Number 21, Wiki with Roof. This song sounds like a vignette of New York. He raps about his perspective of the New York City rooftop, touches a bit on gentrification and growing up as a true New Yorker and seeing all these transplants, and it's just a very interesting perspective. Number 20 is Navy Blue with Ritual. This was off his newest album, Navy's Reprise. He is more of an underground rapper that's worked with Earl in the past. He's from New York but moved to LA, and he sounds just very confident on this track. A lot of his other tracks are more somber, which I really love too, but he's really in his bag on Ritual. Number 19 is Nas with Rare off King's Disease 2, Hit Boy production. There's a beat switch on this track, and Nas, just like the chorus, he's in rare form at, I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely past what people would usually say is your prime, and he's entering a new stride. And he's dropping another project tonight with Hit Boy, so Nas is just on another level right now. Number 18, Drake, What's Next. My favorite track of Drake came off of CLB, and it was leading up to the hype, but I really enjoy What's Next. Number 17 is Baby Keem with Family Ties featuring Kendrick Lamar. This was the return of Kendrick coming back to the rap game after a long wait, and he does not disappoint, and neither does Baby Keem. He's able to match his cousin's energy and not get outshined, which is very rare. Number 16 is Navy Blue featuring Zero with Enough. This song is more of a somber cut from Navy and opens up a lot about different issues, depression, panic, all of that. And it just sounds like a humanizing experience, something that you can relate to. Number 15, Vince Staples, Are You With That? The opening track to his self-titled album. You could easily listen to it in the car and not really think about any of the content, which seems to be part of the point, but if you really dissect what this track is about, it is very dark, and that's part of why I love it, is you can enjoy it on a surface level, but if you want to get into it, you can get into it. Number 14, IU featuring Dean, Troll. This is the first collab between IU and Dean, both Korean artists, and this song is just a really fun listen. Number 13 is Young Thug with Nate Ruess. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. Gunna and Jeff Basker with Love You More. This song is amazing. It's got the Metro Boomin introduction. It brings back the lead singer of Fun, and then Young Thug and Gunn harmonizing over everything is just something that I didn't know I needed in 2021, but thankfully I got. Number 12 is Tyler, the Creator, Safari, the final track on Call Me If You Get Lost. This song sounds exactly like its title, and it's just an adventure. And when I was lucky enough to travel around Europe over the summer, this was part of that soundtrack. Number 11 is Kanye West featuring Jay-Z with Jail. This song is electrifying, sounds like a triumphant return, especially after not being in the game for a little while and Watch the Throne. You know, no one's really sure if Kanye and Jay-Z are on good terms, and all of a sudden you just hear those dun dun, and Jay comes in later, and it's just a moment. So that's number 11. Moving into the top 10, we have a 10-minute song, and that is Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version. This was one of my favorite tracks when Red came out years back, and then hearing this more fleshed out version, it's really awesome to see how Taylor's songwriting is really unmatched, and to have a long track be so engaging is very rare, and so I think that Taylor executed that perfectly, and I love this song. Number 9, Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open, Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars collaboration, came out earlier this year. It was the lead single to their album, and it just perfectly sums up what they're bringing to the table, bringing back that 1970s sound. It's a timeless song. Number 8, we have Young Thug, Hate the Game. This was my favorite song off Punk. He had teased it on Instagram earlier, so the chorus was always in my head, and I was waiting when the album dropped that this track would drop, and thankfully it did. And it's just a catchy song that I personally just love. Tyler, the Creator, What's Your Name, comes in at number 7. This song features NBA Youngboy and a nice addition of Ty Dolla $ign vocals. It sums up what the theme of Call Me If You Get Lost is. A little bit infused by travel, also starts to bring up the love triangle story that he delves into deeper in this record, and adding that Youngboy feature is something that only Tyler can do, really bring out the best of his features. Number 6, we have Adele, To Be Loved. This is the penultimate track to Adele's 30 album, and one of her most powerful songs, which is definitely difficult to say given how many powerful records she's done, but To Be Loved is just her bearing out her heart on why she believes in putting your best foot forward and effort into love, and that's something that I think is true too. And even though it might leave you, extremely sad and left feeling like there's nothing, it doesn't sound like she regrets anything at the same time. And so to be able to put that into a track is something that I think is extremely vulnerable. Moving into the top 5, we have Justin Bieber with Anyone. This is almost To Be Loved, like the theme of that put into the opposite way. Obviously Adele went through a divorce. Justin Bieber is happily married. And so what I love about this track is, even though it might not be as vulnerably deep, it is equally on the same page of putting your all into love. You could view it as corny, but it at the same time I think it's very real, and I love that how triumphant and how willing and confident he is in love. Number 4, Kanye West, Come to Life. I love the piano that comes in towards the end, and when he performed this at the listening party, and then he brought out Kim in the dress at the end, I thought that was really powerful. So again, this is another moment full of many moments off that album, but this is Come to Life by Kanye. Number 3 is Porter Robinson, Look at the Sky. And I got put onto Porter Robinson this year, ended up going to a show, really loved it. I think Look at the Sky is a track that is extremely optimistic, especially in a year where, still a lot of things happened. Wasn't, maybe not as bad as 2020, but comparable. But this track really makes you feel like next year there's like things to look forward to. There are goals and hopes that you will accomplish, and I really love the uplifting energy of that. Moving on into number 2, we have SZA with Good Days. This song also came out at the end of 2020, but didn't have enough time to make my list, and I found myself constantly going back to this track. If Look at the Sky is more optimistic, Good Days is more of a realistic optimism track. So even though she might be going through tough times, she is looking forward to better days in front, even though in the present she might not be able to see it. What I enjoy about this is it does sound a bit exhausted, but not defeated in a way. And the final, my number 1 track of the year is Alchemist featuring Earl Sweatshirt in navy blue, Nobles. This might be a track that not everyone has heard of, and I was constantly going back and forth on which of my top 5 tracks would be in the number 1 spot, but Nobles is one that I re-listened to one of the most times this year, and anytime I was in a new city, whether I was in LA, New York, other cities across Europe, I would put on this song and feel refreshed. Earl and Navy trading verses. It may not have had like the biggest crescendo or the biggest moment. It's only 2 minutes and change maybe, but I think that it warrants more spins. Like, you want to replay it after it starts and just get that feeling back. And so I think that Earl, Alchemist, and Navy are masters of not drawing the song on too long. They use brevity to its strength, and personally I think this paid off extremely well. So that is my number 1 song. Those are my top 50 tracks of the year. Put in the comments what your favorite tracks were, what I missed. And again, if you want to see all the full list, see the descriptions of everything written, go to www.collegesetlist.com. Hit subscribe. I did a lot of videos this year. Hopefully can put out some more next year. And if we do good enough likes, maybe I'll do like a vinyl, showcase my vinyl collection, because I have been collecting a bit over, I think I have, let's see, I got this navy blue record. Maybe I'll put this in my top albums when I go through that list. But yeah, if this gets enough likes, maybe 5 likes, I'll go ahead and do a vinyl my vinyl collection, do that. But anyways, hope everyone has a good holidays. Hope everyone's staying safe, and I'll see you in the next video.